Outsourcing automation may look efficient, but it's creating long-term risk that utilities can't afford.
This is Powering the Future, a podcast series brought to you by Smart Grid Forums. One planet, one power grid.
With me is Adrien de Gottrau, sales representative at Condis, making the case for keeping IEC 61850 expertise and accountability inside utility teams. Hi Adrien, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Mandana, thank you for having me today.
Well, it's great that you could join us. So Adrien, before we get started into this conversation, it would be great for our audience if you could just quickly give an introduction to yourself, your role and responsibilities at Condis, and what some of your priorities are right now.
Yes, of course. So my name is Adrien. I've been working at Condis for the last two years. I'm a sales representative, meaning I'm in charge of having the contacts with our clients and finding new clients to expand our client base and really also try to understand the market and see what the market needs so that we can adapt our products to the needs of the market.
Right. Okay, great. Now, when we last spoke, we were talking about how different utilities across Europe are sort of managing their talent pool. Some are keeping their internal expertise very focused internally. Others are outsourcing. What's your views on this mix of internal and external expertise management?
Yeah, I think you also see that in regarding to the subcontracting that they do. Like some utilities, they tend to subcontract bigger projects like a complete substation. They want some external suppliers to do everything on this external substation. But other utilities tend to have this knowledge in-house and they just want to buy some equipments and then do the engineering and the start of the substation, the engineering of the substation themselves, the configuration, everything they want to do in-house. And for us, our vision at Condis is it's probably in the best interest of the utilities to have this knowledge in-house because at the end of the day, they're responsible for their own electrical grid. They have to know what happens on the grid. I mean, if there's a slight error, a problem, a blackout, they have to answer to the press. They have to go and talk about why it happens and give explanation, not the subcontractors that they might use to do a certain part of the maintenance. So that's why we believe, the utilities have a big incentive to know what happens on the grid and to have this knowledge in-house. And this gives them really more flexibility and also it allows them to standardize their pool of substations, for example. If you do it in-house, you can put in place a standard and then you can have the same in every substation. And that's where the IEC 61850 norm comes into play. It's basically it's a norm that's designed to be able to standardize the engineering and what happens inside each substation. And when the utilities have this knowledge in-house, they can really standardize their substation, and that's a big advantage then.
I think most European utilities are aligned with your message, Adrien. When I talk to them on a daily basis, they're definitely invested in keeping their expertise in-house. They want to upskill their internal teams. However, there is a serious shortage of skilled talent across Europe. Attracting them to the power grid seems to be a particular challenge right now. So in that sense, what would you recommend in terms of utilities attracting, retaining and upskilling talent in the substation area? What do you think are some of the solutions that utilities can consider to improve this?
I mean, if every utility could really invest more in 61850 and build this knowledge base around 61850, that would be really good because then you would have more people that are trained not on a specific protocol or way of doing things from a proprietary vendor, but something really totally independent that expands the overall knowledge of the field, and that would be quite interesting. But I think also the problem with 61850, it's just that it's not taught at university, and so most people lack the basic knowledge. I mean, if you compare that to basic electrical equations, like everybody has seen them and can represent them and can work with them and has an understanding of electricity based on what they learned at university regarding those basic electrical equations. But we don't have that for a 61850. So like a lot of people know some jargon, some buzzwords, some GUs or logical nodes, but very few understand what's behind those words. And I think that the first step for each utility is really to train everybody on the basis of the standard to really be able to understand it and to work with it and to really understand what's behind what's the meaning behind the words. And that's the first big step that has to be done, and I hope everybody will do it.
Yes. I mean, when I talk to the 61850 experts, obviously they have no issue understanding the standard. They're immersed in it. They go to all the working groups. They're talking the jargon every day. However, then spreading that knowledge and expertise to the wider team who now needs to pick it up and work with it seems to be an ongoing challenge. So is there anything the standard can do to simplify and to make itself a lot more user-friendly for the mass market, for the mainstream?
I think it's not the goal of the standard and the people who do the standards to simplify it. It's the goal of having tools that simplify this enough for the users. And that's what we've also been focusing on, having the tools that allow to do the configuration of a gateway, for example, or of a HMI in a simple way, so that it's easy to understand for the users. But behind that, you still need the basic knowledge of the standards to have a couple of experts behind who can teach the users and tell the users what to do and how to do stuff.
Right. Okay. Tell us a bit more about your tools, because I think the utilities are always looking for good tools that they can hit the ground running with to upskill their wider workforce and to get the the substation automation done a lot faster. So tell us how your tools are achieving this.
So what we've been focusing on is a software-defined gateway and HMI that's linked to it. The basic idea from it stems from a DSO in Switzerland 20 years ago, and they had this idea that the hardware was evolving much quicker than today, but the hardware like a PC power is evolving still at a rapid pace, and they thought the software can outlast the hardware. So let's make a gateway that's software-based. So when there's a hardware change, we can just change the hardware, but we keep the same software. And the original goal was really to have I want my software to last as long as the primary equipment, meaning 40 years and more. And that's doable with software and then updates. You can have a product line that stays for a longer time than just the hardware. And that was the basic idea behind our product, and that's what we've been developing ever since. So nowadays, our gateway is used in substations, and we have different hardwares that are qualified to run our gateway depending on the best use. That's the flexibility that we can offer. The result is that you have the same software, the same also configuration environment, and the same software running on different hardware depending on the application that you have. If you want to control a big substation with 50 bays, you will need a very big gateway with our software on it. If you have a really small substation with only a couple of bays, you can have a smaller gateway that's going to be cheaper, more efficient, but run the same software behind. And so you have really one software to cover all your gateway applications in a utility.
Okay, great. And you'll be displaying this at SGT26 in Paris, won't you?
Yes, so that's why we go to those events. It's just to showcase what we do and how we do things. But for us, it's also really important to have this exchange with the utilities and to get to know them better and understand them better. As what I can see in my role as in sales, when I talk to a lot of utilities, I always have this feeling that they don't talk a lot with each other, and
Right.
even within the utilities they have often like silos where every department does its thing, and we are convinced that there's a lot to be gained to having more exchanges and to really widen this the knowledge around substation automation. And that's also why we go to events as SG Tech Paris, where it's not only about showing what we have, but it's more about learning what others are doing and discussing. So really, I would encourage you, come to our booth in Paris, and we will be happy to have a discussion about what you do and how you do things in your utility.
Fantastic. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there, Adrien, and your wider team from Condis, and to seeing your solutions, and for you to talk with the utilities and learn more about what their plans for the year ahead are as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. See you in Paris in March.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Join us again next time as we unpack another big topic shaping the future of the power grid. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Smart Grid Forums, and to follow us on LinkedIn. Until then, thanks for watching and listening.
This is Powering the Future, a podcast series brought to you by Smart Grid Forums. One planet, one power grid.